I am calling all 55 gangs in my beautiful city. I expect a gang leader from every gang, all 55 gangs, and I'm not going to name them by name, but I'm calling the Latino gangs. I'm calling the Cambodian gangs. I'm calling the Filipino gangs. I'm calling the black gangs. I'm calling the Pacific Islander gangs. I'm calling all gang leaders to meet me right here, Long Beach City Hall, this coming Monday. Why Monday? Specifically, I need you to be here to meet me in person to take back this city. Because our leadership is not doing anything about it, and our police are powerless. Once again, let me be very clear. My name is Rogelio Martinez, your 2026 Long Beach City Mayor, and I need your help. I need to see 55 gang leaders here this coming Monday. We need to take back the city. Enough is enough. ICE needs to get out of Long Beach. And this is the only way that I know how to get them out. Peacefully, but with strong force. But peacefully. And remember, the police are not at fault. The police are not doing anything wrong. I'm not here to defund the police. I stand with my Long Beach police officers, my men and women that serve the Long Beach police.
All right, shalom. All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, whom rule and teach well, who taught us his truth. To your brother Yashimai from the JMS Atlantic camp. And what we have here is an enraged Israelite, man. And you know, we truly are living in these end times where the world is just about fed up with this bastard who has been set up to rule us. But the scriptures foretold us about this. This is Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And, you know, this is what, you know, we're starting to see more and more of these videos, man. People are mourning for, you know, the state of their, the way that their lives have been shaken up, man. You know, people are beginning to wake up to the nastiness of this devil, the way he carries himself, you know, his foreign policy, his domestic policy, how he treats his people, these draconian laws he's passing by. You know, now they've passed laws where they can shut off your car, you know, which, I mean, this has been a known thing, that the CIA can take over your car and basically, you know, make it look like if you floored it into a brick wall, man. But people are starting to get fed up with this, man. But, you know, rebelling against this devil is not the way out of here, man. That is a fleshly desire, and the scriptures, you know, talk about crucifying the flesh. You know, the scriptures go into mortifying our members daily, man. I mean, yeah, you know, we get upset, you know. I mean, you know, we are, you know, you know, our spirits are stuck in this weak flesh, you know, and so, you know, we get upset. You know, we see our people, you know, getting rounded up in cages, getting shot down, you know, getting their land stolen, and you know, but these are mortal thoughts, man. You know, these are our mortal thoughts. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let go of mortal thoughts. KJV, because being in this truth, you can't continue to be thinking like this. The second Ezra 14:14 says, let go from mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. And what is the burden of man? The burden of man is the flesh, man. So the scripture tells us to put away this weak nature, calling 55 gang leaders to show up, and half those gang leaders are probably informants, man. You know, this isn't the 90s anymore where people are going to do, you know, 20 years for a gun charge, man. People nowadays, they can't even do 5 years, man, let alone 30 days in the hole. You think these people, man, right now is not the time to be out in the streets, man. Right now, matter of fact, let's let the scriptures talk about the times. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. See, that's one thing that our people have to understand, that you can only get the understanding by going into the scriptures, and absorbing the 100% truth. What do I mean by that? Because you can go through the scriptures, when we were walking in darkness, we were going through the scriptures in Christianity or in, you know, Muslims, whatever it is, but, we weren't filtering it through with the 100% truth. But so you have to go through the scriptures with the 100% truth and see why that's not the answer, man. Because why? Because right now we are in verse 4. We are in a time to weep. All right? And Yahushua came to those that were weeping, those that were mourning, shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High. That's in Matthew chapter 5, man. We are those that are mourning, man, but, that's the state that we should be in. The scripture doesn't call upon us to take on weapons and, try to come against Esau. I mean, that's his blessing, man. You go to Genesis, the 27th chapter, his blessing was the sword. He said, "From by the sword thou shalt live," man. And surely this man does have the sword. I mean, the guy just went into Venezuela and kidnapped the president with 20 people. You think 55 gang leaders is going to do something? Man, that dude will shoot one wavelength and have all these people prone down crying like babies, man. You cannot go up against the Most High, man. All right? Yeah, I said that. You cannot go against the Most High. Well, what do you mean? Because the Most High has put this man in that position, man. Let's get that in Isaiah 10, verse 5. Let's get that. No, fingers. Isaiah 10, verse 5. It says, "O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation." We are under the rod of the Assyrian, known as the self-proclaimed white man. This white man is the tool of the Most High's anger. That's what it says. Matter of fact, let's see what that says in the NLT. Isaiah 10:5 NLT. I want to see what that says. It says, "What sorrow awaits Assyria, the rod of my anger? I use it as a club to express my anger." Boom, that's what it is, man. So yeah, I mean, again, we understand where the man's coming from. He's upset seeing his people get slaughtered, man. But that's in the time that we are in. But then there comes another time. It says, "And a time to laugh." This is what's coming to us. A time to laugh. But we'll come back to this towards the end of this video. But right now we are in a time to mourn. But then comes a time to dance, man. And we can't do anything to change these times, man. 2 Ezra 4:37, it says, "By measure has he measured the times." Okay, so the Most High has said everything to be done in the way it's supposed to be done. When you bake a cake, you read the instructions. It says, bake this cake for 45 minutes. What's going to happen if you take that cake out, in 5 minutes? It's not going to be ready, man. All right, the Most High has ordained these things to happen, man. The book of Jeremiah talks about, certain deaths. People have to die certain deaths too. The book of Jeremiah, I believe it's around the 3rd chapter. Those for the sword, to the sword. Those for the slaughter, to the slaughter, man. Everything has to be done in its set times. And by number has he numbered the times, all right? And he does not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. I mean, we are in our timeout, man. You put your kid in timeout, you take away his phone from him, and you tell your kid, all right, no more phone for 10 days, or for 10 days. If what's going to happen if you catch your kid on the phone that you took away from him in 3 days? You're going to whoop his ass even harder, and then say, well, you know what, now it's not 10 days, now it's 20 days. And that's exactly what this man is doing. And it's not just this man, but that's what our people are doing. Our people are trying to get back on the throne when Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has taken us off of our throne. What do you mean he's taken us off of our throne? Well, the scripture says that ye are gods, but ye shall die as men. We've been taken off that throne. Okay? Isaiah 43:13. Yea, before the day was, I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? This is the Most High's doing, man. We are being hit with those sore stripes, man. Even, Paul talked about it, the book of Romans. I'm not going to get too much into it. We'll just get the first verse. Yes, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. And so sometimes the Most High puts powers, puts us as the power, and sometimes He puts us as the tail. Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, you shall be the tail and not the head. Right now we are the tail, man, and none can deliver. You want to try to call these gang leaders to go against Esau? Are you serious? The wicked, which is thy sword. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that. You want to. Psalm 17 and 13 says, "Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, O Assyrian. The rod of the staff is the rod of his indignation." This man is called the sword, man. You want to, you might as well take a spoon to a nuclear fight, man. Like, there is no, you might as well take a spoon in New Zealand and try to fight in, America. But sail your way over here, and then, you got a spoon to go up against this, man. It's just not going to last, man. It's just not going to last, man. So you have to understand this. We are in timeout, man. We are in spiritual and kingdom timeout. Jeremiah 17:4. Thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Right now, our time is to serve, man, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger. Again, going to being in timeout. Our salvation isn't in the weapons, man. Our salvation is in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Psalms 121, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help. Our help comes from up high. My help cometh from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which made heaven and earth. It doesn't come from 55 gang lords especially in California, man. Not the way their gun laws are, man. You get 55 gang lords to show up. Each one of them got a 9mm with only a 3-round magazine, man. They call anything above 3 rounds high capacity. You can't even get them things. You ain't doing nothing, man. But there's hope. There is hope, man. And that opens Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is 2 Ezra 4 verse 40 again, It says, so he answered me and said, Go thy way to a woman with child, and ask of her when she has fulfilled her 9 months, if her womb may keep the birth any longer with her. So, the angel is telling Ezra, hey, everything's going to be done, but when it's time to be done, like when a woman is ready to give birth, it's going to happen, man. And we are living in those times where it's about to happen, man. All right? Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is gathering his elect by, us doing the work, and right now we just have to wait. So, going back to Ecclesiastes 3, a time to weep and a time to laugh, And that, then the roles are going to be reversed. Then we're going to be laughing and they're going to be weeping. Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he does judge and make war, man. So this is what's coming, man. This is what's coming, man. I think that was the point, man. We right now are in the time that we're under these devils, man. But the time is coming that we're not going to save ourselves. The white horse, Yahushai, faithful and true. And that's exactly what it is, man. Yahushai is faithful. The scripture says, who has trusted in the Most High and never been let down, man? Nobody, man. He's faithful and true to do this, man. Matter of fact, you go back to Romans, the 12th chapter, it talks about leaving room for vengeance. All right? Vengeance is mine, said Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. And he's going to get that vengeance. We just got to wait. That's pretty much it, man. The point is made. Our salvation is in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, not carnal weapons. Until the next one, shalom.